Welcome to the office. Yep, it's another mess. Yeah, such is life. Um, so yeah, my name is Harold Stubbs, the third of all things. I'm I do tech support. I'm a senior technical support engineer. I'm about 38 years old, but I've always wanted to make video games ever since I was a little kid, and I've never really sat down to really work on that until about the past month. And because you know because of Godot, excellent game engine, very easy to use. I'm very familiar with Python very recently, and I've also have done C Sharp in the past, so that helped. Because I probably will have to switch over to C Sharp for some of my things I want to do with my game. Because of course I don't seem like I ever want to do anything simple or easy. In fact, this all started kind of as a joke with a friend, getting angry or whatever, and I said, fine, let me make a game. And I looked through some old files I had, and I had this SquirrelKart game, and it had this note about epic naval battle. Okay, so we have carts with in the water. All right, fine. So I was thinking, okay, well, never mind carts. Maybe they're boats or jet skis or something. No, okay, but I want you to be able to jump waves, and like you'll see somebody's wake, like a minute after they went by, and you're like, oh my god, I gotta go get them or something. So, some kind of like a death match sort of scenario, and be able to jump each other's wakes, jump off ropes. Ropes. This isn't this isn't wave break. We're jumping off ramps and stuff like that. But that sort of very physics simulation. I'm an engineer. I've always been interested in that sort of thing. So sure, all right, I'll whiz up something. And okay, so fine. So I decided maybe not boats. How about hovercraft? Because then I could coast on the land or something. That's because I came across this paper that basically described how to implement a wave water surface with particles, and you end up creating basically a height field. Well, I've been reading about video game programming for decades now. Height fields? I understand how to render a height field. I understand. I could do this. I'm pretty sure I could do this. That's what I was thinking. And, I did the research and I did all kinds of stuff. And, well, um, hopefully it speaks for itself. The name is currently, it's not titled yet. Still kind of SquirrelKart, but there's no sound or anything. You know, but this is very simple. I can drive around and I can splash. I can create big splashes, little splashes. Oh, see, and this is just a quick tech demo. You see, there's some issues. It can kind of explode as far as the simulation goes. So this is what I got so far. And yeah, I actually compiled this for the Android of all things, and it ran like at like 2 frames a second. But there we go. I hit the ground, I hit the water, I create waves, and then I read the wave texture back from the graphics card. That takes about 5 milliseconds at this resolution. And then I can query that height field to run the hovercraft. So that sort of works. I probably won't stick with that going forward because of that delay coming back from the graphics card. But I thought it was kind of neat that I was able to whip this up in Godot. Just, like I said, starting from a flat straight out. The on-screen controls are. I hadn't whipped it up real quick to try it on my phone, because Godot can export to Android, and it did work. It just was like 2 frames a second. But the land currently is being rendered with a different height field. It's in this iteration, it doesn't interact with it. It was just kind of starting out with it, see how I can get things to work. I'm driving around with I'm actually moving a square mesh around me that's doing line of level of detail. So I can't see the entire game world as far as the waves. I'm just in the center of this square mesh, and that's what's picking up the texture for the height field and rendering the waves where they're at. So, of course, nearby I have nice waves. Far out I have nothing because I didn't want to put that much geometry. I was just testing this out. But for a small enough surface area, uh, in this instance, I'm rocking like I think about a 1024 by 1024 texture. So it's probably basically at about 4 per meter, say, something like that. So, and that's what the coordinates are based on. It says, okay, so 256 units in either direction, so plus minus 128 is the only space I can drive around in. If I go outside of try to go outside of those areas, I just bounce off because there would be no waves out there. I can't sample outside of this texture. But this is what I've got so far. And then for the game, I'm thinking, okay, well, I want to be able to have the players interact with this somehow. I want to be like, okay, I want to fire a wave. Who doesn't like a game with a good wave gun, right? And for testing, I have of course some other stuff. I can make whatever kinds of explosions and things. But yeah, this is what I have so far, and this is reading back from the graphics card. It takes about 5 milliseconds for the frame read on the 630 that I built this on, or at least read time, and what the. I have no idea what happened there. But that is the beauty of this, is that, it is a work in progress, and strangeness can happen. But, alright, well, whatever happened there that caused that, I could bump into it, so it's really there. Oh, wow, those are huge. Okay. And, yeah, I will, I think I'm going to go back and make another video about going into more detail how to do the dynamic height field with the graphics card read back in Godot. Especially because I don't think it's a very basic thing to want to do, but certainly it could give you a way to place objects and make a height field and then read it back, save it as a file. There's certainly enough stuff in Godot to do that sort of thing, with a little bit of programming. And then so you read it back from the graphics card real quick, and you have your file, so you can make your game that way, And I know there's some height field tools and stuff, but this could certainly allow for, say, a destructible height field, and that sort of thing. But an interesting thing about reading back from the graphics card is not just this setup, right? If we go back to an earlier test, you can see something perhaps even a bit cooler. So in this test, there's actually two particle systems. They're 2D particle systems on the height field. And, there are thousands of particles. And so they're just generating, in this circular pattern. And then I can drive on those. And, of course, I can make my own waves, too. If particles get too far apart, the wavefront breaks. And this is what you get. This is what you're out here. And that's fine, because that's fine. That's just a part of the system, and you can certainly get around that. You can do things to improve the resolution as you go. And that's actually all detailed in the doctoral thesis that I was basing this wave renderer on. I'll definitely give you a link to that. That's was by Cem Yuksel, who's currently an associate professor at U of U. Which is kind of neat, because it's like down the street, and I was really impressed by his work, and I really enjoyed implementing this, and I'm sure AAA games implemented it before, just probably haven't used it in this way. So yeah, that's basically what I got. Alright, so until next time, blessed be.